Good evening and happy November from the Medium channel. Welcome to our November psychic forecast and channel messages from the master teachers. So what we're going to do, also I have a little bit of the astrology and numerology of the month. So the way that I do this, I've got all written down in notes, what's come through in channeling, as well as the astrological information. So I'll go briefly over that, numerology and astrology, talk about the key points that I'm seeing, and then there's a couple of exercises recommended by Spirit. I've got some divination cards to get a little bit more of like spontaneous information that I may not have gotten when I was doing my work earlier. So I'll say a few quick hellos and we'll dive right into it, just to give the live people a second to get their notification. So hi Susan and Jennifer and Horses, and hi Karen and Jody and Brooke and Lisa and Michael and Roseanne. And that's it so far. At least that's it for the people that have commented. So it snowed. It's November, so it had to snow up here in the Catskill Mountains. No accumulation at my elevation, but higher up, the ground turned white. So here we are in November. Beautiful energy. So, if you think this is going to be about doom and gloom, it's not. I'm always very optimistic, but realistic. So we're not sugarcoating it. We provide hope, but not hopium, if that makes sense. And that's basically it. We're a community. We're here. And also, before I go on, timelines are fluid. And I make this point every month that not everything that I say is going to come true to the letter. Partly because I'm human, partly because Spirit doesn't give me all the information of the universe that there is to know, but also that as consciousness changes, it affects the timelines, it affects the outcomes. And the trend that I've been seeing for the last 3 years or so, that most of the stuff's been fairly accurate, some points more than others, but in a lot of cases, things have come true to a less severe level than what was being said. Excuse me, I need some water. Okay. And I think that's going to continue to be the trend. So as I dive into this, just keep that in mind. So, there's things that'll happen that I didn't pick up on. That happened in October. There's things that I said for the month of October that didn't happen. That's going to happen. Even Nostradamus wasn't 100%. But the idea is to give a flavor, to give you like an energy update of what we can do, in our own lives, as well as in the community, to work with these energies for the most positive outcomes and the most positive events. So I have a few things written down. So on October 1st, we're going to walk down memory lane a little bit. Hi, Janae, Mulbert, Suzette, Claire. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. On October 1st, so this was a big prediction that had been, that I got, before the autumn began also, and in the summer. But on October 1st, we predicted an explosion in mid-October that would draw the Western world into war or into conflict. So obviously that's Hamas and what's happening in Israel and Palestine. Now, this is interesting. We also predicted a major hurricane would hit the U.S. No major hurricane hit the U.S. in October. However, Hurricane Otis did hit Acapulco, and that was a Category 5 hurricane. And that's stirring up a lot of the conspiracy theories and the conspiracy facts, stuff like that. We're not going to go too deep into that today. We predicted corruption would start rising to the surface faster. We talked about bad flooding. New York City came up starting in June, and that happened. I don't know if that happened. That might have been in September. Anyway, you guys get the idea. So, and anyhow, I think enough people are on that we can start to dive into this. So here's what we're seeing. Okay, I'm getting my notes on message updates, tarot, a couple of exercises. All right, I talked about all this. So here we go. So starting with some numerology and astrology. Hi, Linda. Hi, Angela. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Mo Bear. If I missed, or Yoon Bear. I'm pronouncing your name wrong. So anyway, in numerology, this is a universal 18-month. You don't reduce 11 in numerology. We're in the 7 universal year, Add 7 to 11, you get 18. That's the moon card in tarot. That's the moon in Chaldean numerology. What does the moon do? The moon illuminates the night. Key point in this energy in November, that the light of our intuition, of spirit or of God, is going to illuminate our past. We have nothing to worry about. Yes, things are going to fall apart, but besides the human suffering, which I know we all detest, besides that, this is what we want. The systems in this world are unsustainable. They've been for quite a while. So this energy is going to illuminate some of the shadows. Let me turn the pings off. Pings are off. Okay. um, and 18 reduces to 9. 9 is Mars ruled. 9 is about completion. So this is a completion cycle. Now, Spirit was telling me we're in the heart of like the purge right now. And although I don't think that's going to complete in November. I think this is going to be a big month, and some aspects of that will complete. They were saying even into January, we're going to still be in that purging energy. Purging is just, releasing, that which is toxic to us, in your individual lives, as well as what's happening in the, and what's happening in society, in the world, excuse me. All right, it's been a long day. So I wrote a few things. Oh no, so that's about it. So 9 is Mars ruled. What is Mars? We get the word martial from Mars, right? So this could be, unfortunately, aggression's ramping up this month, with that influence. But it's also about completion. So this is a good month to complete things that need to be completed in your lives, in my life, and what needs to be completed in society. A lot of unfinished business, so things can get tied together. It's also very energetic. And now 9 and all of its multiples, or I should say 3 and all of its multiples, form what Nikola Tesla called the 369 code. And 9 is the very pinnacle of that, because it's 3 times 3, 3 squared. So basically 9 is a very, very powerful number of change, but it's also those forces that act upon the physical universe. That's what 3 and its multiples are. Numbers in numerology, it's not just about math. It's a model of how the universe works. 0, 1, and 2, 0 through 2. 0 and 1's the binary code, and 2 is sort of the number of duality, right? Too. So the physical universe exists because of duality, because of interplay of opposites. 3 and its multiples are those forces that act upon the physical universe to change, to adjust it, to modify it. So when we talk about 9, 3 times 3, it's very, very powerful energy of change. So what do you need to change in your life? The universe has your back. What do you need to change in, what does the world need to change? The universe has the world's back also. All right. So other little highlights: the new moon happens at 20 degrees of Scorpio. 20 is the judgment and the judgment card. Scorpio is about, what's the right word? Transmutation. It's Pluto energy. It's the underworld. So it's transmutation. And so this is going to be a very powerful lunar cycle coming up. No eclipses, we got that out of the way already, but very powerful. That's on the 13th of November. The full moon will be at 4 degrees Gemini. Now, by the way, 20 is it's lunar rule because it reduces to 2, but it's really about spiritual awakening and global awakening. So the degree points of the moons to me are important. And the sign Scorpio, again, it's very powerful energy of transmutation and change. So that's happening the 13th. Full moon at 4 degrees Gemini. 4 is ruled by planet Uranus. So the number 4 is really about the structure of things, like squares. That's 4-sided. But Uranus is that force that blows up the structure. So it's an interesting numerology. Also, Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, energetically speaking. Now, the full moon is going to be in Gemini, the Mercury-ruled sign, at 4 degrees. That's happening on the 27th. As I'm talking about that, I'm seeing a lot going on in Washington, D.C., and maybe in Parliament in the UK or Canada and other countries. So a lot of laws are coming under scrutiny. That just came into my head. What I wrote down in my notes here is this will be huge for change, revolution of consciousness, big upheaval, overthrowing of government, outdated programming, etc. So lots of energy happening. Now Saturn goes direct. Saturn's been retrograde for about 4.5 months. On the 4th of October, it's 0 degrees Pisces. Pisces is the subconscious. Zero is the void. A lot of changes in collective consciousness. Very important transit that's going on here, and how what we hold as ideals and our beliefs and our hopes are really going to manifest more than usual. So be you're mindful of what you're putting out there into the universe. Remember, thoughts and the emotions that they carry have a chart that affects your physical reality on a personal level and on a collective level. Mercury goes into Sagittarius on the 10th, so it's in Scorpio now. That'll enhance communication. That might help. Although Sagittarius can be a little bit, dicey also in a way, but because it's Mercury, that could, the phrase "the pen is mightier than the sword" comes to mind. So, and anyway, so that could be some more diplomatic efforts that are going on 11/11. Yeah, big day, Veterans Day, 11/11. Mars and Uranus opposed. That's very powerful energy. And this month is ruled by Mars. So see what Mars is doing in your chart, and that'll give you an idea of how the energies are affecting you personally, because the numerology is all about Mars. So it's opposing Uranus. Uranus is the ruler of number 4. So Uranus is very active also. Um, Oppositions form tensions, forces that kind of act against each other, basically. So yeah, Uranus can be very revolutionary, but it can be higher mind also. So this is probably showing it's on Veterans Day too. So a lot going on with that. So the signs involved are 21 degrees Scorpio of Mars, 21 degrees Taurus for Uranus. That affects the money systems, that affects the government. And again, Scorpio's transmutation, it's like the scorpion's tail, like stinging itself, basically. Also, Venus goes into Libra on the 8th. So basically that Mercury into Sag, and then the Mars Uranus opposition, bring in new learning. Best time of the year to overcome the lower nature. Use that energy for a boost. The number 11 in Chaldean numerology is the lion's muzzle and clenched fist. In the old tarot system, the strength card, the one with the lion tamer and the lion, used to be key 11. It got changed to key 8. But in the old tarot, it was key 11. So this is an excellent time to overcome things, on a personal level, any addictions and any habitual behaviors that are compromising or even sabotaging your life. You're going to get a big boost of that this month, especially around the 11th with that 11 numerology. It's also very spiritual energy. So anyhow, good for you, Suzette. Yeah, I'm not paying as much attention to the chat. Guys, talk amongst yourselves, of course, but I have a lot of information, and I don't want you guys or myself to be here all night. But I'm keeping kind of somewhat of an eye on it. So, Suzette, very good for you. Good for you. Yes. So here's some messages that I got. I was doing a little bit of channeling last night. And could either be coming through intuition or through spirit, or a combination thereof. But first thing is, a cycle will complete in your life. So we're talking about things going on with you personally now, as well as in the world. So this is the completion of a cycle. A lot of us are having difficult cycles. That's good news. And again, it's 9 energy. So this is a good time to develop new habits and new routines. That's point number 1. Point number 2, spirituality, very important. I mean, it's always very important, right? But there's actually specific predictions that I'm going to get to, by the way. But for this, spirituality is very important. So keep your body and nervous system strong. What's happening in this ascension process is that the frequencies keep increasing. Frequencies affect the electromagnetics of the earth, and our aura is an electromagnetic field around us. Our nervous system is an electrical field that goes within the body. basically what that means is that as the electricity amps up, the electricity going through us amps up also. If you have a faulty system that's not in tip-top shape, it could lead to problems. So we're not saying this to scare anybody, but to motivate you to do your exercise, do your cleansing, keep your body strong, keep your nervous system strong now. And they're saying you must practice meditation and presence or some variation on that. There's many ways to meditate, but you've got to spend some time of just being able to be in your breath and to shut all the noise out and to open your heart to spirit, to start to connect with the subtle vibrations, that registers through your intuition, and to tune into spirit, to tune into yourself. Also, this is very important now. We need to be in our heart. We need to be in the eye of the storm, because a lot's going on out there. But if we're in the eye of the storm, which is our own heart, then we're not going to get so affected by that. That's the calm, right? So practice present meditation. You must develop tools to stay separate from the lower collective. Meditation can do that. Heart-brain coherence can do that. More on that a bit later on. Keep working with the heart. Keep working with the personal empowerment process. So, okay. Good morning, Tizzy from Australia. So, next thing, a major conspiracy theory or conspiracy fact, some do evolve into facts also, gets exposed or receives more attention. They didn't show me which one. There's a few out there, but one of the things that just popped up in my mind is trafficking of children, sex industry, human trafficking, organ harvesting, cloning, all that stuff. But it's getting exposed anyway. It's just accelerating. So now they were showing me that there can be a documented meeting, documented by who, I don't know, between an extraterrestrial and a human representative. Now, if that actually happens, this will happen way ahead of what I thought it would. Now, and the way I got this, and this could, I have to tell you how I get information, because I could be interpreting wrong, but the image they showed me was basically a human and an alien shaking hands, or maybe in the alien's case, shaking claws or whatever they have. So that could also mean just that we as a community or as a collective are meeting more of our extraterrestrial guides. So I have to amend that point a little bit, but they showed me that, and I felt like, there could be November, maybe into December, but there could actually be something that comes out where humans and ETs are starting to communicate. I mean, I know they already are, on different levels, but I have a feeling what I'm talking about is a prediction. It's something that's happening behind the scenes anyways, but that's my conjecture. Now they show me two major solar storms. Okay, like coronal mass ejections, flares, and stuff like that. We're getting those all the time. I mean, actually, the solar activity, I check from time to time, but been nothing off the charts lately. Minor to moderate storm here and there, but nothing out of the ordinary. One around 11:11, that's a very pivotal time. The numerology, it's a portal energy. We'll do a transmission here also for you with the master teachers. And then one around Thanksgiving, another important time of the year. So we'll see how and if that pans out. I don't think it's to the degree of knocking out the grid or downing the satellites. It's a specter we always have to be aware of. We live in a society that's built on a house of cards. We have a communication system that's about as fragile can be. Our cell phones run on satellites. I think the internet does also, or to some degree. It would not take much to knock out these satellites. So we have to be aware of that, not afraid, not fear-based, but aware that it's a possibility that at any time we could lose communication. That would change our lives a lot. I'm not feeling that for this month, but you never know. So it's good to be aware of that. So big shifts are around both. Okay, all right, we're getting there. We're on page 4 now, so we're getting there, everybody. Stay hydrated, Jennifer. Thank you. Yes, during the winter months. That's a good point. Thank you for that. So there could be up to 2 or more terrorist threats or attacks in the U.S. and or Western nations. Do we need to be psychic to understand that? No, all we need to do is see how the world works. You know, or probably you know, most of us know. If we talk about Hamas, whatever, these networks are all connected. There's operatives in this country and other Western countries. They're here already. The war is fought, in what's the right word? I can't think of the word. But hidden. I want to say a lot of it's on the cyber battlefield. Like subversive. That's not the word, but that's the closest word to the one I'm trying to think of. So we may see some threats or something that's carried out. Sometimes these things are orchestrated to draw fear and to program the masses. So we have to be aware of that also. That's I try to stay away from conspiracy theories here, but I think that's been proven enough that it's not a theory anymore, and it's been proven for many decades also. So in general, lots of volatility in this energy this month. So unexpected, expect the unexpected surprises. This is the heart of the Great Purge, locally and globally. Into January, then changes of structure in society begin. The final phase of the purge. A lot's going to get scrutinized. So more people are waking up. Back in September in the autumn forecast, the master teachers gave me a very bold prediction that 1 to 3% of people are going to experience awakenings within 6 months of that. So that's between September 21st and March 20th, basically. 1% would be absolutely huge, by the way. 3% that would tip the scales completely. Now, whether they're talking about what I believe, of course, I have no facts to back it up, but I believe that there's really 500 million people on the earth, and this is part of the matrix theory. So, I mean, I believed in it to some degree. That would mean that the other 6.5 billion are what you would call background people that aren't really, or I feel like spirit saying, well, they're people, but they're not like on the same spiritual level as the 500 million are, and we're really the ones that are going to be changing the world. So I think even if 1 to 3% of 500 million people that are already, some of more on, I'll just say on a different what's the right word, evolutionary level than the rest of the masses, if those people have awakenings, that's going to be huge also. In general, nothing about the economy yet, that's coming. So in general, lots of volatility in the energy. This is the heart of the Great Purge. Okay, I read that already. Politics get uglier. Do we need to be psychic to know that? No, we don't. We just need to keep an eye on the news. Now it's know that it's largely a show. It always has been. That's getting exposed also. Arrest possible, possibly some restraining order against our former president, Mr. Trump. Um, I don't know. I don't feel like that would stop him from running. Which you have to, look at this. If you're not like in that I don't even want to say program, but in that mindset of that duality, right versus left, um, Democrats, Republican, all of this, and you take in the big picture, it's all like a really big show. It's like if what Donald Trump is alleged to have done really happened, this would not be going on now. He'd be doing prison time. If you look at things and it's like, it's like authorized, well, not authorized, but stood down when a known insurgence was going to happen on the Capitol of the United States, and the order was to stand down. Not to bring extra security in. Basically, at least that's what I heard. what I hear may not be accurate. We can only rely on our sources, basically. But I think you get the flavor of that. If you understand that, if you understand that there's so much contradiction, it's like such a game of emperor's clothes, and that brave little boy or little girl, one of them's gonna say, look, the emperor has no clothes, and it's gonna be like, oh, yeah, right. Oh, what's going on here? So anyway, so politics get uglier, but it's largely a show. Rest possible. Okay. One or two. Oh, they're talking about one or two key political figures may actually die. I hope not, but we'll see about that. Okay, fire season. Yeah, big fire season coming. It's already started. Some big fires started to break out in California already. Hurricane affects South Florida or the Gulf Coast. Bad blizzards they're being shown. More in the Midwest probably, but bad or the northern plains. Big storms, tornado outbreak, and flooding in the South. Here gets bizarre, freeze, weather around the world in the headlines. Do we need to be psychic to know weather's going to be crazy in November? No, we don't. That's going to be my big line for this. So here's the part about the economy, and honestly, I don't understand exactly what they're trying to say, but the image they gave me was money changing hand. When I meditate, I'm just seeing an image of money changing hands, a lot of money. So I kind of went into that, and I was feeling like something major will begin to shift with money. Now, I believe the image was about shifts in the power structures that control world currency. And that can mean a lot of different things. And this isn't my line of expertise. So, I'll do the best that I can. I'm seeing some big companies getting taken over by those companies, that of course, Bill Gates comes to mind, buying out all the land and the farm. So we're seeing a lot of that kind of stuff. I want to say, I believe the image was about shifts in power structures. You know, there's certain powers that control money, yeah, and it's delegated. I think this is all in sync with what they're trying to do with the World Economic Forum. That guy, that Mr. Klaus guy, or Klaus Schwab. You will own nothing and be happy. You remember that guy, right? That's still going on. So I think that there's movement in that direction. So some, where are we? 3, 4. Some folding of smaller companies, food productions taken over by governments and large corporations. The grand plan continues to centralize money and power. We used to call this the grand plan back in the days, what people called the cabal and the big state. I started to study all these governmental conspiracies back in the late 70s. So I've been at this for a good while. So in general, the economy may appear to improve, but it's not reality. It's an illusion to gain more trust as they roll out new economy, new currency, new modes of money exchange, and stuff like that. So they will try to gain our trust. And I've been hearing that the economy's good, unemployment's down. Okay, so why am I getting more calls to do readings for people that lost their jobs or can't find a job? I'm not talking about grocery store delivery. I'm talking about professionals with strong resumes that have been a year, been 2 years out of a job, and they're saying that I mean, I understand that I'm speaking from a really tiny sample size, but what they're saying and what's really going on from where I'm sitting, there's a difference, and I think we have to keep an eye on that. So that's what I get about the money in the economy. So therefore, stocks, bonds, and stuff like that may be okay. One prediction that I thought for sure was going to come true, and to my knowledge, it didn't, was a big shift in the economy, like even a recession beginning in later October. From what I'm seeing, at least in the mainstream news, it's kind of the opposite. Yeah. Yeah, exactly the point. Thanks for putting that in English, Michael. Yeah. I mean, again, timelines are fluid. This can all change as we change consciousness. It changes reality. Now, I didn't write this down, but that reminds you to mention, more big breakthroughs in science and medicine are coming. I think that there's going to be some limited testing of Tesla medbed technology and related technologies, new drugs, all that kind of stuff. So keep an eye on that. Like I said, um, so here's I know MDR, because she's also a client. Has a college degree, right? In her field, has a strong resume. How does it take 3 freaking years to find a job in a field where that is highly employable? Excuse me for that. So there's an example of that. Yeah. So I'm flashing these because it's relevant, and although I know you don't consider yourself an expert, compared to me, you are an expert when it comes to the economy. And Mary said, I think the issue is that we are defining things like recession by the old rules. Excellent point. So maybe that's what it is. All right, moving right along, seeing that it's 7:30. We're not doing too bad with time. Military clashes increase. Do we need to be psychic to know that? No, we don't. I digress. But watch out for renewed threats in Korea. I was asking Spirit, and then I'm seeing Oriental peoples. That could be elsewhere in the Orient. At first, I thought it was Japan. I was like, no, not Japan, um, but China. Obviously, China is a big player. Basically, again, you know, going back to a point I made originally, a game of emperors close. China, yeah, they're the biggest threat to the Western world, to freedom and all that. But we'll continue to trade with them and include them in our in our global trade. They've had 70 years to figure out alternatives now. So, anyways, again, we need to not be dumbed down by all the programming, through the media, through entertainment, through social media, through frequencies and energetic means. Yeah, and we have to just open our eyes, and follow the money, and we have an idea of what they're trying to do, what's going on, and it's just not good for us. I don't want to make a too big of a deal about it, but the powers that control things have demonstrated beyond any reasonable doubt that profit and power is far more important to them than the well-being of you and me. Look at what they do with the pharmaceutical companies and everything, and treatments that are withheld from public view that are available, but nobody would make a profit from it. So anyway, so military clashes increase. Again, I'm maintaining, I don't think we're going to get to World War III, but we may be close. A lot of flexing muscles, a lot of, maybe smaller wars, but I don't think it's going to be like a whole world conflict. But that said, energetically, we're definitely heading in that direction. So more prayers for peace, keep raising our consciousness, keep expanding in love, and I think we're going to be able to supersede that to some degree. Now, the real interesting thing, and I'm going to finish up with this. I'm just looking at your comments. Michael, for the time being, I believe that you're right. Yeah, exactly. Right. Dunkin' Donuts, yes. What's their slogan? America runs on Dunkin'. Now that explains a hell of a lot, doesn't it? What is Dunkin'? Sugar and caffeine. That explains a lot about what's wrong with for the Americans, what's wrong with our country. It runs on Dunkin', and of course Dunkin' runs on corruption, like all the big businesses do. So they were showing me the birth of a child. So that was the other bit of information that came in. A very special child. Now, because I'm a medium and I'm trained to pick things up in imagery and symbolism, this could be symbolic. So this could be symbolic of a birth or rebirth of spirituality, which I love that. And it doesn't have to be one thing. It could be more than one thing, by the way, or symbolic of a spiritual seed being planted in the collective. Now, I haven't talked a lot about extraterrestrials other than that handshake image they show me, but more and more people are discovering, mostly through telepathy, they're discovering their connection with the extraterrestrials now. Some people are having direct visits. Some people are even taken aboard crafts, and very credible evidence from very credible people, I might add with that also. So that's already happening, but so they could be helping. In other words, extraterrestrial intelligence is here to guide us through our awakening, just as, because we're part of a, I believe anyway, that we're part of a universal or galactic network. Like the Galactic Federation's a thing. I do believe, maybe by not that name, that's from Star Trek, but I do believe that it's a thing. And yeah, and what was I going to say? And so we're all connected. We're all part of a network of life, a great web of life. Terrestrial life, extraterrestrial life, and interdimensional life. It's all part of a network. So we are the focus now, because we are the planet that's on the threshold of this shift into, symbolically speaking, warp speed or warp capability. So in Star Trek, they had a really good episode in The Next Generation where the Captain Picard and Riker, I think it was Riker and a couple of other people, went down to a planet for reconnaissance because they noticed this planet was beginning to, on the threshold of developing warp speed. So similar energies happening here, I do believe anyway. So they could be helping to plant the spiritual seed in the collective or amongst our leaders. Let me, back up a second, because I've been going off on different tangents. But show me the birth of a child, a very special one. Could be symbolic of a birth, rebirth of spirituality, symbolic of a spiritual seed planted in the collective or amongst our leaders, or both. But this could literally be some type of spiritual messiah figure that's actually getting born around November. And that would be interesting, because then this child would come of age right around the time when New Earth is really starting to form. You figure it's still going to take another 15 to maybe 30 years for that to happen. So also they're showing me new streams of information penetrate the veils of human collective. I've said this before in other months. The veils are getting thinner. So between the world of spirit, and that's not just people that pass on, but spirit guides, angelic presences, extraterrestrials, continue to get thinner. And part of that is we're evolving. So our energies, as our energy evolves, it starts to get closer and closer to matching the frequency of higher being. So that's how the veils get thinner. And that's going to lead to more contact with new guides, new information, new extraterrestrials, and new spikes in awakening. So I wanted to do some divination cards. I also wanted to talk about that. So I'll flash a couple of safe delivery, whoever's having a baby or wherever that came in. Thank you, Angela. Be the birth you wish to see in the world. I like that. Thank you. That feeling. Okay, so anyway, congratulations to whoever the baby is. So they told me to, some of you never saw, learned this before, but they told me to reintroduce the flame technique. There's different ways of working with fire. But the flame technique, the way that I was given it, basically, this is a way to actually separate from the unhealthy part of the collective. Yes, we're all one, we're all connected, we're all part of collective consciousness and all that. But we're also individuals within that collective, and a lot of the collective is corrupt right now, and sometimes you need to step out of that energy. So a way to do that is you get a candle and you relax. So you go into meditation, you gaze into the heart of the candle, and as you're gazing into the heart, right above the wick, there's a bright spot. You gaze right in there. It's a focused gaze, not a stare, because a stare implies like energy and effort. We want this to be effortless. So a focused gaze, and you start to feel like you become one with the flame. And then you step into the fire and you feel in your mind, you step into the fire and you feel the flames burning around you. Fire has a very powerful energy, a very powerful frequency to work with to augment your fire, your inner fire. So that's why this works. So you literally in your mind, you step in and you see the flames around you, and those flames separate you and keep you safe from anything negative in the collective. So this is something to keep doing, especially when you feel the pressure, when you feel things are going on and stuff like that. So that's the flame technique, and you can use that for other purposes, but this would be to actually consciously separate from the unhealthy aspects of what's going on in collective consciousness. I mean, I'm on YouTube, so what does that mean? More people. I mean, I'm a small channel, obviously very small, 7,000 subscribers now. Channels are small, so they reach 25,000 subscribers. I believe that's the cutoff point between a small channel and an average channel. But still, that's a lot of people focusing their attention on me. Not all of it's healthy. So I develop tools in order to continue to grow, basically, not get overwhelmed, because I'm a highly empathic person. When they wrote about empaths, the book about empath, they're writing about me. So much so when my next door neighbor was having a urinary problem, like a UTI, and we'll just say couldn't hold his water. That night I had a dream that I had to pee, and I just peed all over the floor, like massive amounts of pee. That's how empathic I am. So I need these tools to help me, with what's going on out there, basically, just to put that out there. So you must stay healthy, do practices that support being able to handle higher frequencies. I do Kundalini yoga, Yogi Bhajan, or the channeled entity known as Ram Dass with two S's, not the Ram Dass that just passed on. Um, yeah, thank you, Susan, for that. I saw that. So where was I? Um, and anyway, I need some water. Your comment made me laugh. um, so you must stay healthy. Also about Kundalini yoga. Whatever you think about Yogi Bhajan as a human being, yeah, there's a lot to be desired, as is the case with a lot of these spiritual masters. But a lot of them, even though they weren't perfect humans, they were still very good channels of information. So anyway, he basically said in the 1960s he's doing this yoga to help people through the earth changes in the 21st century. That was the purpose, to help people to handle like all the stress that's being leveled on us by society, coupled with the increase of frequencies, both tax our bodies, tax our endocrine system. When you feel a lot of fear, a lot of worry, all emotions, it's energy in motion, but the way the body experiences it through hormonal releases in the body, and it stresses the body out, and the frequency stress the body out. That doesn't mean to be afraid. Don't go into any fear or anything like that. That just basically means to do your practice. There's a lot of good practices. Kundalini yoga is but one of many. There's different forms of yoga. Qigong and Tai Chi are excellent. Just hiking, just walking, breathing exercises. So many things to do, but the objective is to get your nervous system strong, to get your frame very strong. So if you're a people pleaser, work on that. If you need counseling to feel strong in your frame, to feel confident, do that. Whatever that takes, get that, because we need that during these times. So it's not just physical, it's emotional, psychological, and spiritual health that we need to work on. Shadow work is hugely important right now. This is the 9. This is the moon energy, because 18, the numerological ruler of November, is the moon. That's Chaldean numerology and tarot both. The moon is that which reflects the light of the sun to provide light on the earth. So basically it illuminates the night. What's a shadow? A shadow is something that's hidden. Shadows, when they're hidden, they can run or lie because it's subconscious things that sabotage our lives. You know, it's behavior, it evolves into behavioral patterns and such. Not, you know, and this wasn't planned, but I'm happy that tomorrow I do an upload every Thursday. Well, technically Heather Istara does the upload, but I do the video and then she uploads it every Thursday. It's a new video on shadow integration work. So, you know, so it just happened that way, you know, no coincidences, right? So the other thing was to do your heart-brain coherence, which we talk a lot about. And either the week after, the week after that, I already made the video. So there's, oh no, actually I still have to make that video, but we're going to have another video on how to do that's another video on how to do shadow work. I'm sorry. Heart-brain coherence is tomorrow, but later in the month, we're going to have another video on how to do shadow work. All right, let's do some divination cards. Solar plex chakra, yes. Work, you know, the solar plex chakra is big because that links with the adrenals. And that's our faith, our courage, and our strength. Absolutely. Now, I talk a lot about heart-brain coherence. I focus a lot on the heart. I don't intend to do that at the exclusion of the entire chakra system and the other chakras. The reality is that all chakras have to be in balance and alignment to truly be coherent at the heart. So it's not just about that. It's probably going to take another month or two. Things are developing very slowly with our new website and everything. But I do have a course called the Heart Magnification System that touches on not just heart-brain coherence, but a full study course on how to develop your heart. When your heart's strong and coherent, your brain becomes strong and coherent because they are connected. That's why it's heart-brain coherence. And science backs this up now. The ancients knew it, but science now validates it. There's even brain cells in our hearts. So hearts are capable of thinking also, but it's an intuitive, energetic type of thinking, not the intellectual with the mind. But the heart's stronger than the mind, but they are connected. So you bring heart into coherence. Love will do that because that's what hearts want to feel. Compassion and gratitude will do that. And when you sit with that then the incoherent brain, when I say incoherent, it's made incoherent by everything that's bombarded at us, starts to lock into coherence also. And then you start, when that's happening, then you expand your field and then you draw more from spirit also. So anyhow, let's do the frequency of the month. So I have the sacred geometry deck. The time is it's almost, I had a feeling we'd be on about an hour today. I wasn't wrong. A lot to talk about though. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, I need to nudge them a little bit. I mean, Heather, that's helping me, and my son Odin, who's brilliant with computers, is helping me. But they're very busy also, so it'll happen when it's meant to. All right, so let me clear my mind a second. Okay. Sorry, lick my fingers because they're dry. All right, well, we've gotten this one before. Now, there's about 60 cards here. This is the third time I've drawn heart chakra. Okay, and I swear with spirit as my witness, unplanned, random. This is what spirit gave me, and they direct me straight to the card. There's no hesitation. So the frequency of the heart chakra, the green flower of life, supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing property harmonizes the mind and the body. Exactly what we were talking about, right? So you can get the energy just by gauging the center of this card, but I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So that's just more like spirit backing up what I'm saying rather than giving me something new to double down on your heart practice. Just again, if you can really feel gratitude, that's the master frequency. Because when we're grateful, it's because we received, and the universe is the ultimate giver. So just feeling gratitude aligns and matches our frequencies with the ultimate giver. That's why it's so powerful, and why all the law of attraction gurus talk about it. It's very simple energetics, really. So the heart is green. What is green? Life. It's photosynthesis. It's the leaves. It's healing, stuff like that. So spend some time every day to breathe from the heart, even if you're not doing, heart brain coherence. In many ways to activate the heart. That's one way that's hugely effective that I think is going to be a huge spiritual practice in the years to come. But there's many ways to work on it, many techniques. But the idea, just sit with love and gratitude, consciously do that, during your day. If you can do that for 10 minutes at a time, it has huge benefits on your body, on your endocrine system, your nervous system, and your immune system. So it's hugely, hugely beneficial. And again, that brings you into the eye of the storm. So things can swirl around you, but you can stay calm, and it makes your mind clear. So focus on the heart. So let's see what Kyle Gray has to say. So I've got my Angels and Ancestors deck with me. Yeah, I'm reading your comment, MDR. Okay. That's part of it, but I don't think that's the whole story. I think that you're very employable. So most people, I think, would want a strong figure. Too bright. Yeah, well, some people are intimidated by those that are too bright. I get that. I've gone through a lot of rejection myself for similar reasons. Uh, all right. So where are we going? This way? No, no, no. Yes, this one. Oh my goodness. Wow, Druid, hold the space. So the Druids, they were very good. Okay, I think the message they're giving me through this card is to work with the land. Let's all collectively in November, maybe we can make this a community effort that sometime during the day, just allow yourself to be a channel. Just feel energy flowing downwards from the cosmos, feeling your heart open and expanding. Of course, the heart, right? But feeling, the downward flow, and send that into the earth. Let's feed the earth with a lot of positive energy. I feel like they're saying, because the Druids, to spend more time in nature also, hug trees or hold trees, because trees are very good transmitters of energy. Some trees have downward flowing energy, some trees have upward flowing energy, some trees do both. So the trees not only regulate the CO2 and the oxygen on the planet, they regulate the energy fields also. So deforestation upsets that energy, so the more humans they can make up, that can pick up the slack, the better off the earth is going to be. So what's about Druid, hold the space. um and I feel like the other message is, be in your power. That you're powerful in your heart. Again, back to the heart, and a lot of green there too. That you're going to be okay in the end. And if you hold your space for yourself, you hold space for others. Again, ground. So do a lot of grounding. I think that's the piece that I was missing, and that wasn't in the exercise. So do a lot of tree meditations, grounding meditation. Yeah, when you're sending energy, become a tree and see deep roots or light filaments going deep into the earth. Ground and center. To use my favorite analogy, because I live in the Catskills, the white pines fall in the storms, the birches hold strong. White pines have shallow root systems, birches have very deep root systems. Um, so there we have that. Yeah. And just one more. I have During Virtues Angel Therapy card. I think we need a little angel therapy. We'll need that in November. Again, it's an amazing time of change, but we must be prepared. I mean, we must be, do what we need to do to stay strong and centered. But things have to fall before new gets, before the new rises. Um, and here we get Archangel Michael. So you're working very closely with this powerful archangel, who's protecting and guiding you through the situation. So here's what the card looks like. And that's good. So work a little bit with Archangel Michael also. Is known as the chief of the angels. Even though he's depicted in red, the frequency or the fire is a beautiful deep cobalt or electric blue, and the symbol is a silver sword. This according to Steve Noble's work, who has amazing meditations. I've seen that in other places also. I don't think he invented that. And I work with that symbol. So if you feel you need to bring the strength, the confidence, the safety of Archangel Michael to you, thing to do is visualize a silver sword in front of you. If you're not visual, imagine it surrounded by blue flame, and that's going to help you to draw the energy of that angel closer to you. So anyhow, I hope that is helpful for you guys. And tomorrow, new video coming out. I don't have a lot going on for a while on the Medium channel. We do have a member support group called Spirit Mind Family. It's actually going to be Shadow Integration Month. So that's our Patreon group where we dive deeper into what we cover on the Medium channel. And we do additional frequency channeling. And the frequency channeling is going to help with everything that I'm saying about strengthening your body and your frequencies, but it's also going to help you to reach the threshold to awaken dormant DNA. And when that happens, then you start to reclaim some of your superhuman gifts, higher intuition, your abilities to do things that some might consider superhuman, basically. So thank you. We'll shamelessly plug what Susan's saying here. So yeah, we tend to be a little bit more of a community there than we can be on the Medium channel. It's $5 a month, so I just want to let you know it is a paid. Well, actually, you can join for free now, but to get the really good benefits, it's $5 a month, and we do a lot of exclusive content, additional frequency channeling. We have hangouts, Zoom hangouts, live videos, uncensored, all that stuff. So I can be a little bit more forthright with what my opinions are on things, than I can be on YouTube sometimes. All right, thanks everybody. That's what I'm getting. And before I end, they're saying do your Ho'oponopono prayer. And you know what? I have no guilt or shame over it because I know I'm offering value. And that's the paradigm in business. It always has been, but it hasn't been practiced. But the new money, the new business code is add value. The more value you add equals dollars coming back. So if you're a business owner, you treat your employees like gold, not like crap. So it's just a little. I mean, for you guys, better, but I always hear these stories. It's like, don't people understand that if you don't treat your employees well, they're going to be disgruntled. They're not going to do a good job for you. It's going to create negative energy, and your business is going to suffer because of it. You treat them like gold. You treat, you add value. That's how you stay in business. Anyways, love you guys. Thanks for sticking this out to the end, and we'll see you next time.